ascendant everywhere. Now we look out and we see the ascendant everywhere. And that is what we call exalted, perpetual ascendant consciousness. Once it actually becomes a perpetual experience, okay?
Samadhi?
Yeah.
I experienced it once over our chestnuts. I opened my eyes and suddenly the entire universe was shimmering in light.
Right.
And the trees were just all lit in a glow, and I started weeping, and Kathy walked by, and I thought she was the most beautiful human being I'd ever seen in my whole life, and I wanted to hug her, but I don't know if she was up for the hug. At the moment, she had something, but I loved everyone and everything.
Exactly.
Lasted a couple of hours, and I was crying.
Yes, that is exactly the experience. And just as with perpetual ascendant consciousness, eventually, as you just continue ascending, that's all you do. That never changes, okay? As you just continue ascending, eventually that becomes permanent. It becomes perpetual, okay? Another amazing shift that can just happen so easily. And now there is still a third state of consciousness beyond the first four.
Samadhi, how can you function like that, though?
Well, let me describe this final state, and then we'll talk about that, okay? It's a good question. So in this final state, right now, there is the ascendant here on the inside, and there is the ascendant here on the outside. The final stage is when the ascendant here on the inside and the ascendant out here are totally one. There is no division, no separation, no distinction. And so it's as if these boundaries just dissolve a bit. And it's not, I'm not saying that you no longer remember who you are. No. We still can function in this world, but we start to see more and more that there is no distinction between the ascendant that we experience this being as and the ascendant that we experience when we look out. It is all one ascendant. And that is it. There is just that one. And if you can imagine, you asked how can you function in that state. Actually functioning in that state becomes how we are actually meant to be functioning. Because we are all one. And all the great religions have said that in various ways. Usually it's been, we are all brothers and sisters, or we are all one family, that kind of thing. But it goes beyond that. We are all one organism. And so how you function with others is truly how you would function with yourself. The golden rule just becomes such a normal, obvious way of living your life. How would you ever do any harm to any other living being that you wouldn't do to yourself or want done to you? Because it's all one. If someone else is hurting, we will be hurt to some extent. We cannot help it. There's only one of us here. That is the bottom line. And this state, which we refer to as unified perpetual ascendant consciousness, or more succinctly put, unity consciousness, okay? again, is not a far-off dream. It's not something that is only reserved for a special few that dedicate their lives to hiding away in a cave. Okay? It is meant for all of us to be living unity consciousness. And can you imagine what the world will look like when we are all doing that? I mean, just take a moment and see that.